Hi everyone and welcome to another Comics Unlit video. And for this one, I'm trying something a little different. I absolutely love sci-fi as a genre, and I've been wanting to experiment with some old school B-movie poster art into the bag. So I chose one of my all-time favourite literary classics, the groundbreaking, iconic The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And I'm going to create a brand new poster design to show you how to take something from idea to inception step by step. So first of all, I get down to research. I decide to focus a drawing on a key extract from the novel, and I keep it simple and go with the fighting machines, often nicknamed the tripods. I do a little reading around and settle on the extract where the narrator describes the fighting machines appearing on Maybury Hill. Let's take a look at it. And this thing I saw, how can I describe it? A monstrous tripod, higher than many houses, striding over the young pine trees and smashing them aside in its career. A walking engine of glittering metal, striding now across the heather, articulate ropes of steel dangling from it, and the clattering tumult of its passage mingling with the riot of the thunder. A flash, and it came out vividly, heeling over one way with 2 feet in the air, to vanish and reappear almost instantly, as it seemed, with the next flash, 100 yards nearer. Now I've decided on my scene, I've got to decide how I'm going to draw it. So I get on the internet and search for some style inspiration. In this case, I settled on those cool, retro sci-fi action posters from the 1950s. I love the vibrant colours and crazy drama they create. Then, I look for some inspiration from other illustrators who've tackled the War of the Worlds. We've got Alvin Correa's illustrations from 1906, which accompanied the first fully illustrated version of the novel. These are just incredible and really capture the darkly dramatic tone of the book. I love how simple the tripods are with their conical hats and spindly legs. Some other touchstones were the modernised Spielberg incarnation from the 2005 film, which are more mainstream I suppose, but still frightening. After more image gathering, I decide I'll take a retro-futurist approach, partly inspired by the Correa drawings, but with a slightly modern twist. I picked some reference images from nature, like tarantula legs and the jellyfish head, which works really well as the tentacles in my head look similar to Wells's articulate ropes of steel, which dangle from the tripod. So I then produced some sketches for my own version of the tripod, playing around with more organic forms and also simpler designs. Finally, I settle on a quite simple one as it fits my general aesthetic. Then get down to drawing some thumbnail sketches to play around with layouts. For a while I think about having 2 tripods, one near, one far. I also debate about whether or not to include people in the foreground, like in some of the B-movie posters I've been inspired by. In the end, I picked this thumbnail, as it feels really dynamic, and I like the way the text and the tripod marry together. Why not leave me a comment? Do you think I made the right choice? Okay, so now I'm ready to draw. I start with pencils and get the basic size and shape of everything started roughly before going in with more detail. I also decide to include a cowering human in the foreground, who is probably the narrator being scared out of his mind. This was something that was slightly changed from the original thumbnail. After about 2 hours of drawing, I've got a pretty detailed pencil sketch. I like to work with quite a detailed pencil outline, as I find it stops me panicking once I start doing the inking, which feels like the time when there's no going back. This way, when I start adding the inks using a brush tip fine liner, I feel nice and safe that I've already got a fixed layout. So it takes another 2 or 3 hours to do the inking, and I'm pretty pleased with the results in general. So I pick my colour palette, taking some colours from the 1950s posters. I scan the artwork to my laptop and import the image into Photoshop, where I begin to add colour. After a bit I start to regret a decision to use mist in the foreground of the poster. It's just not reading right. I keep going though, and end up with this. At this point, I'll admit, I've done about 8 straight hours and felt completely zonked, and I wasn't happy with it. My top tip for all you artists out there, put the pen down, take a break, come back later. So I wait a day, I come back and my brain clicks. The tripod looks like it's floating over the landscape. I need to add loads more shading to the legs and body to pull it all together. I'm going to remove the mist and add a simple grassy floor to the foreground instead. So I pick up my pen and work back into the drawing, then rescan, import, and combine the new and old drawings. Okay, this looks way better. I spend another 2 hours fiddling with the colours and shading, and the drawing's done. Now I flatten the image and start playing around with the text. I keep it based on the same original thumbnail and use a punchy yellow-green shade with a blocky outline. I'm nearly there. Finally, I pick a little quote from the novel that fits the scene, make some tiny adjustments to size and placement, and I'm finally happy. So here it is. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of how I designed the poster art. If you like it, it's now for sale in my Etsy shop, which is linked in the description below. If you want to see more videos or more artwork like this, let me know in the comments and help support Comics and Lit by subscribing to the channel. Catch you soon.